Good morning, everyone. Friends, today we are going to focus on MSBI demo day 2, right? As part of day 2, we are going to focus on majorly in SSIS architecture, right? I just want to give you an overview of our previous session and then we can proceed to the new concept today, right? So this is what we discussed as like MSBI architecture. As part of this architecture, we have SSIS. All SSIS can fit into as part of data integration and detail extraction, transformation, and loading process. We have the next tool, next MSBI tool called SSRS. The main uses of this particular tool is reporting, data visualization, and the data analysis part can be achieved by using SSIS. So you are in a position to perform all three activities by using all MSBI tools. So simply I want to call it as MSBI architecture. Okay, right? Now with that, now I'm going ahead with so now MSBI Microsoft Business Intelligence. Microsoft Business Intelligence, right? As part of MSBI, we have SSIS like SQL Server integration services. The main motto of this particular tool is to perform data integration and ETL activities. And next one is SSRS, SQL Server reporting services. This is for data visualization, SSAS, SQL Server analysis services. The main motto of this particular tool is to perform data analysis, right? All these three activities, right? So friends, all these three are part of your SQL Server. When you install SQL Server, all these three tools will be installed on your local machine and successful completion of your SQL Server installation. Right. Now, sir, I want to go ahead with this one. First, SQL Server integration, integration services. As part of SSIS, I just want to cover SSIS architecture. As part of architecture, I am going ahead and cover core components of SSIS. What are the core components of SSIS? What it contains? Number one, SSIS runtime engine. And second one is data flow pipeline engine. Okay. These two are the core engines of SSIS architecture. Okay, guys, it's really important. Concentrate on the session, guys, please. Okay, right. So this is really important. First one, SSIS runtime. Sir, before we have a deep dive into these two components, right? I just want to give the background of it. What do you mean by background, right? Sir, versions of versions of SQL Server that internally covers versions of MSBI because MSBI is a built-in component of your SQL Server. Versions of SQL Server. Versions of SQL Server internally covers versions of MSBI. Sir, in SQL Server 2000 version, we used to achieve DTS packages. And here, the file extension was .dts. DTS full form is data transformation services. Service that transforms the business data from unstructured or semi-structured to fully structured. Right? Right. So starting from SQL Server 2005, right? Starting from 2005, that whole MSBI stack has came out and we are discussing about SSIS. And here, sir, the file extension has been started from 2005 to till date is starting from SQL Server 2005 to till date is DTSX, DTSX. And then after that, 5, 8, R2, right? 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, right? These are the different versions which I am going to list out. R2, RVP. These are the different versions of SQL servers along with the MSBI. Actual MSBI stack from Microsoft has been come up with the SQL Server 2005 onwards. That was in the year of 2006. Okay, and the file name is DTSX. But in the first version of SQL Server, in the version of SQL Server 2000, the file extension was .dts, Data Transformation Services. But sir, what is the difference between this one and this one? X. What is X here, sir? This is same. Data Transformation Services, extension of the previous one. For example, .xls, .xlsx. This is MS Office, that means MS Office Excel 97 to 2003 version. And this is 2007 to till date, the latest version, right? This is an extension of the previous version. That is how Microsoft works with the file extensions. Are we good now? Are we good now, guys?
Yes.
Right, right. Next one, sir. Next one. Sir, I want to write C sharp code. Where do we write C sharp coding? Visual Studio. I want to write a SQL Server queries, stored procedures, cursors, triggers, and all. SQL Server Management Studio. We simply call it as SSMS. I want to write Java code, Eclipse. I want to write Oracle code, stored for Oracle. Sir, what are these things? Visual Studio, SSMS, Eclipse, Toad for Oracle. What are these things? IDEs, Integrated Development Environments. What is the IDE for? C Sharp, Visual Studio. What is the IDE for SQL Server? Microsoft Management Studio. So, what is the IDE for MSBI? That is where exactly SQL Server Data Tools SSDT will come into the picture, which is a built-in component of Visual Studio again. Any questions, guys? Emma, any questions?
No.
Right. Sir, what's the reason? Sir, you mentioned over here, but you're not explaining over here. You are explaining something different. No, it's not different. I'm trying to make you guys, like, take you guys towards these particular two components. So, in order to have a deep dive, in order to have a better understanding, right, I need to do the back. Right? Yeah. So I want to open this particular application and walk through this application and the engines simultaneously. You people will be in a position to understand in a clear manner. All right. So I just want to open Visual Studio 2017. Visual Studio 2017. We have 2022 as well. I'll come back to you on this, right? Why we have two versions and why should I go ahead and select this Visual Studio 27? I'll come back to you. For the time being, I'm just selecting Visual Studio 2017. Right. So guys, I just want to create a new project. Go to File, New Project. File, New Project. If you don't like this way, you have a provision to create a new project altogether. Either way is fine. But let's go with this option. Right. So if you see here, under Business Intelligence, hmm, under Business Intelligence, we have Integration Services. So now you are selecting a project type called Integration Services Project. Hey, what is the purpose of this one? Right. This project may be used for building high performance data integration. Yes, data integration. That's what we have been discussing for the past 24 hours. Data integration and workflow solutions that can be run on SSIS catalog, including extraction, transformation, and loading operations for our data warehousing system. So basically, this is our SSIS package project. SSIS project. But if I come across this question from any one of you guys, hey Rama, what is this? Like what is this one there? Where exactly we use this? This one is basically we go with this option to create the ETL operations on premise, on my local machine, on premise, in my local machine. Right, right. And this is for ADF, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory is an ETL tool on cloud from Azure, right? And this is for our wizard purpose. We never touch it means never touch it. So currently I'm going ahead with this one. So I just want to show you the flow again. Go to File menu, New Project, and then select Business Intelligence under Integration Services. Select the first project and rename it. SSIS morning 7 a.m. and September 1st. That's what my integration services project name, where it helps us in performing data integration and ETL activities for our data warehousing system. Now click OK. Now it's time to create the project in the specific location. Any questions, guys? Manu, you just joined. Yeah. Have you provided your email ID and then contact number? If not, please ping me so that I can share the recording session. Yes. So this is how it looks like. This is the total SSIS environment. Yes. Okay. Right. Sir, what is the extension, sir? What is the file extension? What is the file extension?
DSX.
Hey, DTSX. Please. DTSX. That's what we discussed, my dear friends. Data transformation services extension of the previous version. Right. What is the name of the file? What is the name of the file?
Package.
Package. .dtsx is the extension. Package. Okay. Sir, I want to go for a vacation, sir. Starting from Hyderabad to Chennai, Chennai to Kodaikanal, Kodaikanal to Ooty, Ooty to Bangalore, Bangalore to Mysore, Mysore to Bangalore, again Bangalore to Hyderabad. I just want to no, go with all these things, right? So now I need your contact number as well so that I'll create the WhatsApp group for the doubts clarification and all because we are all connecting from different corners of the globe. I would need your details as well. If you don't mind, you can share me your contact number as well, just like others. Right. Thank you, ma. Okay, fine then. Right. Now, sir. Now, sir. Sir, package. Sir, I have planned to go with the different locations, right? Each location has its own significance. In the same way, instead you go for a package, a tourism package, and your package contains multiple locations. Each location has its own significance. In the same way, your package is having multiple tabs. Your package is having multiple tabs, right? First tab is control flow, data flow, parameter, event handlers, and a package explorer. We have totally five different tabs. Each tab has its own functionality. Any questions, guys? Any questions, guys? Okay, fine, fine, fine. Sir, listen. So currently, where are we now? Don't say we are at home, right? So currently, we are in control flow, right? So now control flow and event handler. Sir, when I select control flow and event handler, there is no change in the toolbox. When I select control flow or event handler, there is no change in the toolbox. But when I select data flow, it is changing now. When I move navigate from control flow to data flow, there is a change in the toolbox. There is a change in the toolbox. So now go back. Sir, SSIS runtime engine handles all the activities of both the control flow and event handlers of a package in SSIS. Do you have any questions, guys? Do you have any questions? Hi, Abhi. Good morning. I think this is our first session. I would need your email ID and then contact number so that I can share the recording session. So you can ping me your email ID and then contact number.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, you can ping me in the chat window. Thanks. Right. So guys, come back. Handles all the activities of both control flow and event handlers of a package in SSIS. What do you mean by that? What activities it contains to handle? Sir, currently where are we now? You are in control flow. When you are in control flow, the toolbox contains the tasks. See, see, analysis services processing task, bulk insert task, profiling task, execute package task, execute process task, expression task, file system task, FTP task, all these different tasks we have. So it contains tasks and also containers and also containers. See, we have three types of containers: for loop, for each loop, and sequence containers. Right. When I navigate here, you can see the same toolbox. There is no change. Right? Okay. Right. Sir, what do you mean by an activity? Right, guys. Sir, I want to send a mail using SSIS. That's what my activity is. Activity means a work content. Having lunch is an activity that we perform in a 24 hours of a time. Right? Having tea, right? Sleeping. There are the different activities that we perform in a 24 hours of a time. In the same way, sending a mail to the business users when package fails, right? Or else, hey, I'm not feeling good, so I would like to take rest, and you people go ahead with your plans. I want to convey to all my attendees saying that today we have no session. So all these activities can be achieved through send mail task. Task means an activity that can be executed. For example, I want to execute a SQL query, execute SQL task. I want to execute a package within a package. One package calls another package, execute package task. I want to download a file from the server, FTP task, right? And then I want to do some file operations or directory operations, file system task. These are the different tasks we have, right? I'm just placing tasks in my control flow, just a drag and drop them, just a drag and drop, right? Sir, I have one more task. I have one more task. So totally control flow is having three different tasks. But when does these three tasks executes? Right click, task one, execute task. So you can execute the tasks individually or else all these three tasks will get executed when during the execution of the package. So tasks will get executed individually or as part of the package or as part of the package. For example, now we have executed individual tasks. I want to go ahead and execute the whole package. I want to go ahead and execute the whole package. Right now, see, all these three tasks were executed. Habib, I would need your contact number as well, dear.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Now, right? So task means a unit of work. Let me write it. Task means a unit of work which can be executed, which can be executed individually or as part of the package. Do you have any questions, Amma? Do you have any questions on this statement that we mentioned right now? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
No. Right, right. Sir, now, I'm going to remove it. And we have, right, sir, for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I is equal to I plus 1, and open and close, print, yeah, print A is equal to A plus I. So let us do one thing. Now print A. Now tell me, sir. Now tell me. What is this? What is this one? What is this?
For loop.
What is that? Please. You know that.
For loop 20 value.
No, no, for loop, man. For loop. It is a container containing two different activities. Activity one, you are doing some expression. Activity two, you are printing the above value. Same. So related activities can be grouped together within a container. So that is nothing but this one, for loop container. Repeat the tasks in a package. These particular tasks can be assumed that this is our task one and task two, right? So task one and task two. These two tasks are executed. These two tasks will be executed, right? Multiple number of times until this condition becomes false. So how many times these two tasks will get executed? How many times these two tasks will get executed? 10 times. Yeah, 0 to 9, 10 times. So this is very much similar to for loop container over here. This is a container containing multiple and different tasks. Each task has its own significance. You can have one more container over here. Right? So you can divide the control flow functionality into different modules, module 1 and module 2. For example, assume that I'm from flat number 401. Do you think my flat is having only one room, or else it's been partitioned into multiple rooms? Multiple rooms. Each room, each room has its own significance, right? Master bedroom, hall, kitchen, balcony, and a wash area, and then restrooms, second bedroom, third bedroom. So, so you have divided the whole floor 401 flat into multiple room space. In the same way, the control flow functionality has been divided into small pieces. Each piece has its own significance. So, container is used to divide the control flow functionality into multiple segments. Are we good, Amma? Are we good, Amma? We have three types of containers. For loop containers, for each loop containers, and the sequence container. Right. Are we good now? Are we good now, guys?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Right. Now, next one, sir. Sir, currently, where are we now? Currently, we are in which tab?
Control flow.
Control flow. I don't have anything in the control flow. My control flow is empty. I removed everything. Now I want to navigate to data flow. Hey, it is scrolling you. Hey, idiot, you are trying to enter into the theater without having ticket. It's violation. You take the ticket and then get into the theater, right? No data flow tasks have been added to this package. Click here to add a new data flow task. Right. So we have Krishna River, and this is my home. Do you think Krishna River water is ready to coming to my home? Directly coming to my home?
No.
Do you think Krishna River water is directly coming to my home? No. Okay. Do you think Krishna River water is ready to drink? Is it ready to drink? Is it ready to drink? No. It has so many impurities. So you get the Krishna River water to reservoir, and here we apply some chlorination activities to avoid unwanted bacteria, and filter water will be distributed among all the homes available in the city, right? So now guys, this is our, okay, you tell me now. How Krishna river water comes to reservoir? How this river water comes to reservoir? Through Wi-Fi? No. Then how? How?
Pipeline.
Huh? Pipeline.
Pipeline.
Pipeline. What flows over here? What flows in the pipeline?
Water.
Water. Now, This is your source system, right? This is your source system, and this is your transmission area. Finally, you are loading the data into destination system. Sir, here, what is flowing over here? Water. And from source to transformation, this is also a pipeline. But what flows over here?
Data.
What flows over here? Data. We call it as a data flow pipeline engine. Are we good, Amma? Are we good, Amma?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the conclusion over here? When you navigate from here to here, right, make sure you have a data flow task. Now go to here. It's not saying anything. It is simply navigated from control flow to next tab called data flow tab. That is the relationship between control flow and data flow.
So why is not showing like first is shown something load something?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
When it comes to open this data flow tab first time,
Mhm.
it's given something load data or flow something.
That's what. That's
Why
what.
is like
That's what I'm going to explain now. See, data is flowing from source, from where we extract the business data. These are all the different sources we have. See, use one or more data flow sources to extract the data from file systems and databases. See, in our previous example, the data has been extracting the data from, you are trying to extracting the data from file system and databases, right? And then once the data is extracted data must be transformed. Use data flow transformations to modify the aggregated data. Finally, use one or more data flow destinations to load the data into data storages such as the file systems and databases. So here, from source, we extract the business data and then transform the data, finally loading the data into the specific destination system. Are we good, Amma? Are we good, guys?
yes, sir.
Right. So here, sir, how do we navigate from control flow to data flow? With the help of data flow task. Without helping the data flow task, you will not be in a position to navigate to data flow task. You got the relationship between control flow and data flow. How do we navigate from control flow to data flow? What task helps us in navigating to data flow tab? Yes, guys, are we good? So here, what it contains then? What it contains? It contains data flow sources from where we extract the business data, data flow transformations where we transform the business data, and this is your data flow destinations where we load the data. So where do we perform the actual ETL process? What task, what component helps us in performing the ETL process? Data flow engine. So where can we perform the actual ETL process? Data flow tab. All these data flow activities handles by data flow pipeline engine. Right? Do you have any questions, guys? Do you have any questions? Guys, do you have any questions?
No,
Habib and Manu. Both of you guys are in a position to handle, like, are you in a position to understand the concepts? And but if you come down, you have you have connection manager. You have connection manager. Guys, observe here. Connection manager. Right. Sir, I'm in Hyderabad and you people are connecting from different corners. For example, Habib is from Chennai. Now, how I called him or else he called me, whatever happened. So call means when I call him, like a dedicated line has been established, and then conversation is going on between Balaji and then Habib. Now tell me, is it a logical or a physical? Is there any wire between Hyderabad and then Chennai? No, it's not a logical. It's completely physical through signals. It works through signals. So, but still, we both are connected each other, and then conversation is going on. So, connection manager is a logical connectivity between any two applications and file system or databases. Are we good with the concept? It's a logical connectivity. Okay, logical connectivity. Next one. Connection manager for SQL Server. How do we connect it to the SQL Server? How do we connect it to the SQL Server? Right. Sir, I called to Habib and like a connection has been established. Who provided the connectivity between myself sitting in Hyderabad, Habib sitting in Chennai? Who provided the connectivity? Network providers. Who are all the network providers available in India? Airtel, Aircel, BSNL, Vodafone, Geo, all these things. Data source is equal to server name. Database name is equal to, sorry, initial catalog. Nonsense. Initial catalog is nothing but a DB name. And then provider. Provider is SQL NCLI 11.0. That means SQL Server Native Client 11.0, right? Which is a default provider for SQL Server. Are we good, Amma? Are we good now? This is a default provider for SQL Server. Without this provider or driver, you can't establish the connectivity between your SSIS DT, SSDT application, right? This one and server sits in somewhere in Pennington or else North America, somewhere else. Okay. So that is about the total end-to-end, end-to-end SSIS architecture component. One last point, guys. What is the connection manager for file system? Sometimes we get the data from file systems as well. Shared location of the file or else path of the file, where exactly the file is located. Right. Are we good, Amma? So as part of today's session, we have started with SSIS architecture component. SSIS is part of your MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, which is part of your SQL Server. So now we started with SQL Server integration services. As part of the first session is of SSIS, I have started, like we have started with SSIS architecture and where we discuss the two major components. One is SSIS runtime engine and data flow pipeline engine. SSIS runtime engine majorly handles all the activities of control flow and event handlers of a package, and it contains tasks and containers. We have so many tasks and three types of containers: for loop container, for each loop container, and sequence container. And data flow engine contains only the data flow sources, transformations, and destination. And a connection manager is a logical connectivity between any two applications and file system or database. Connection manager, data server name, database name, SQL Server native client, which is a default provider for SQL Server. And how do we get connected to the file system? We need to provide the shared location or else path to the file where the file is located exactly. Now, that is about the whole entire SSIS architecture and the surroundings explanation. Are we good, Amma? Are we good now? I just want to open SSIS architecture diagram. Right. Now see guys. Sir, here, this yellow portion is referring to control flow, which handles by SSIS runtime engine, where you can see different types of tasks individually, and a container is also having the tasks. Okay. Even though out of all these things, when the data flow task occurs, immediately the control jump to data flow tab, and then extraction process and transformation and loading process must be executed. Once you are done with the ETL process, go back to control flow. Go back to our control flow. Are we good, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Right. So here I need to introduce, I'll share this thing some. See, we have connection managers, event handlers, all these things handles by SSIS runtime engine itself. Enumerators are from for each loop containers. Enumerators are nothing but for each loop container. For each file enumerator, for ADO.NET, ADO.NET schema rosette enumerator, for ADO enumerator, node list enumerators. Right. These are the different enumerators we have. Enumerator is nothing but a collection, right? Yeah. So, guys, let me introduce the terminology. Most frequently used terminology. You guys feeling bored or something?
Yes, sir.
Executables. Something that you can execute, right? Package, container, and task. These are the executables. Components, data flow sources. These three are the components, what we call them. Right? Most frequently used terminology in SSI. So with that, now we have successfully completed SSIS architecture. I'll share both the like recording session and this PPT as well, where you have different types of explanations, right? A simple note, and so you can go through that. Right. What do you guys? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, fine then. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. Tomorrow, today, my HR will connect with you all for further action items, and then please do respond. Okay. Right. I'm going to stop the recording.